Welcome to the channel. Good morning. I've picked myself up a NuCanoe Pursuit fishing kayak. I haven't seen a ton of these on YouTube, but this thing's pretty purpose-built for fishing. It's got some really cool features. I actually picked this up secondhand with just a couple uses on it from a guy named Romel Labrador. He's a kayak builder. This thing's pretty cool. It's a one-of-one, all-white custom color. I think this is the only one like it, so I'm kind of loving this color. It just looks super sleek and clean and fancy. This kayak's pretty much base model as far as I know. I don't think there's been a lot of modifications done to it, aside from it's been set up with hand steering and a rear motor, electric motor. But I just kind of wanted to give people an idea of what actually it comes with and how it comes from the factory. Some of the other videos I've seen are fully rigged out and modified. So I'm going to go through the features here. So what we have in the front, we actually have a storage compartment with an insert that's all watertight. So it's really nice for storing your baits. This one's had the hinges removed, but it comes hinged. But yeah, you got a watertight storage bin here. You can also take that out if you need to get below deck as well. That's pretty darn cool. Then you've got obviously this massive fishing platform here that you could stand up, move around, fish on. It gives you a lot of options for moving the seat forward and backwards. It also has this front storage area here, so you can put in, a box, tackle box, stuff like that. You have the rails on both sides for strapping things down. I've seen some people have an enclosure here with drawers that pull out, but really it's just kind of a blank slate for doing whatever you want. They also sell a little bumper seat that goes up front too, for maybe like having your kid come out with you, something like that. Something I really like about this kayak as well is it actually has rod storage for 4 rods, basically below deck. So the front of your rod's going here. On both sides has these tubes that goes all the way to the front. So there's room for 2 on each side, so it's pretty nice. Depending on your reel and seat setup, the backs don't necessarily fit the best, but just the fact that you can slide them all the way to the front is really convenient and nice. We've also got 2 additional upright rod storage spaces. So that basically it comes with 6 rod spaces from the factory before we even start adding anything, which is really cool. I believe the newer ones are coming with a NuCanoe branded seat, so this is probably a little different than what the new ones would come with. But the seat seems pretty comfortable. It's a little bit on the recline side, so it may be a little too reclined for some people, but seems comfortable. I don't have it on the water yet, so I'll let y'all know. It's got this 2-layer C-deck style turf padding, which is pretty cool. Gives you a lot of grip. This stuff is nice because it doesn't really get hot either. So if you like fishing barefoot, you don't really have to worry about cooking your feet. I run stuff similar to that on my jet ski. I have C-deck on my boat and it works great. It's good stuff. Alright, coming to the back, we have more rail here, so you could put your black pack box here, your batteries, everything in the back. And then you have a hatch here that just gives you access to below the deck. A lot of options for what you can do with that. I've seen people put storage bags in there, or just basically getting below deck to hook things up, or whatever you need to do. The fishing platform on this thing is really wide, so I think it's going to be really stable, but we're going to find out once we get on the water. Another thing I thought was pretty interesting, I'm not a big kayak guy, I don't know much about them, but I thought this little Delrin slider was cool, so if you need to drag it up out of the water, you can use this kind of sacrificial plate versus wearing a hole through the hole. Because one thing I did notice about this NuCanoe is it's really thin. It flexes a lot. It's not a really thick molded kayak, so I don't think it's going to be like really heavy duty. But the good thing about this thing is that I think it's going to be really fast because it's lightweight. So this one in particular, Romel rigged it up for a Newport vessel's outboard electric motor. So this is the bracket with a cable that goes up to a hand control on the left side up there. And the throttle basically, it's like a hand throttle, so I have a little bracket that's detachable here, and it just comes up and then the throttle will sit right next to me there. Basically this is kind of your standard setup without a bunch of modifications. This is how it's going to come. So bare bones, but ready for your modifications to make it how you like it, and basically make the ultimate fishing setup for yourself. I'm going to go ahead and put the motor on just to let you know kind of how the motor works and how it hooks up, and then kind of how I have it set up, at least for now. It's going to be this way for my first try, and then I'll make changes as needed from there. So give me a second here. Alright, welcome back. So now I have our battery, our transom mounted motor, and throttle on the boat here. So I'm going to show you kind of what I have going on and how it works. So first I have a Newport batteries, lithium, 24 volt, 50 amp hour. And this is really cool. It actually has an app on your phone so you can look at state of charge, how quickly it's charging, and temperatures inside the battery as well. So it's really cool. And it also looks like it keeps track of how many times the battery's been charged. So you can actually show people, hey, this thing's only been used 10 times if you ever needed to sell it. And it is powering a 1.5 volt Newport Vessels transom mounted electric motor. Looks like it has a pretty heavy duty little propeller here, a nice little skag to protect the prop from hitting bottom. It's lightweight and really easy to install. Basically just uses one little pin, put it on the transom mount that was already here, put on by Romel. Push the pin through, drop it into place, and you're ready to fish. Grab your plug here. This is actually a Newport Vessels quick disconnect kit for the battery. It uses basically Anderson Power Products quick disconnects, super easy. Just take the two ends, clip them together, and you got power. Then here's the throttle control. I have it mounted on a Yak Attack bracket here. That way it's elevated and easy to reach. Throttle is easy to use. Forward, it's fully variable, neutral, reverse, neutral. It uses a magnetic key, so it won't fire up until I put the key on. That's good for safety. If you ever fall off, yanks the cord and you will shut the motor down, rather than having to flag someone down to chase your kayak across the lake. So I have this set up down here with the quick disconnect Yak Attack. So when I'm underway, it's easy to reach, and once I get to the fishing spot, I don't want to be tripping over it. So you just pull the release tab and it pops right off. Get that out of the way, get up and fish. So that's how I have it set up for now. I think in the future I'm actually going to get a rail mount down on the top edge of the kayak, like the ones back here, and then mount the throttle up higher out on the side. And I think it's going to be more comfortable, you know, steering on the left, throttle on the right, versus kind of reaching and tripping over it. But for now, this is going to do. I'm really excited about this setup from Newport, and I think it's going to fly, especially with the lightweight of this kayak. I'm a pretty skinny guy, so I think it's going to be really cool. So thanks for joining me for our kind of initial look over of this NuCanoe Pursuit and my kind of really bare bones rigging setup. We're going to get on the water, try it out, and obviously I'm sure I'll be making some changes, modifications to make it better fit my wants and needs out there on the water. So thanks for joining me, and next time we'll be out there on the water.